A republic government is created in Rome. Rome originated as a small city-state by the Tiber River in central Italy around the 8th century BC. In the late 6th century BC, Rome overthrew the monarchy and created a republican government. In the early days of the republican government, the consul and the senate were exclusively restricted to aristocrats only. Later, the growing clout of the commoners led to the creation of the plebeian assembly, through which commoners could elect tribunes. In the 3rd century BC, Rome unified the Italian peninsula. Rome went on to claim victory in a series of 3 wars called the Punic Wars and became the most powerful nation in the Mediterranean. Cheap crops streamed in from the occupied territories, and the aristocrats used slaves in their latifundium, eventually depriving and driving off self-employed farmers. The fall of these independent farmers translated into deepening conflicts between the aristocratic landowners and farmers. The Gracchi brothers, who served as tribunes, tried to support these poor farmers by passing land reform and redistributing the aristocratic landholdings among them, but their efforts failed due to the objections of the powerful landowners. After the failed land reform, Rome fell into chaos as warrior statesmen continued to fight for political power.
Why did the Gracchi brothers try for reform? Tiberius Gracchus, who became a tribune, was killed by the aristocrats while implementing policies for the benefit of independent farmers. Gaius Gracchus, who became a tribune after his brother, ended his life on his own because he could not overcome the threats of the aristocrats while implementing a policy of supplying grain to poor citizens at low prices.
The Republic gives way to emperors in the rule of Rome. Around the mid-1st century BC, Julius Caesar seized power after winning the Gallic Wars, but he was assassinated by Roman senators and Brutus, who tried to protect the Republic, 44 BC. After his death, his adopted son Octavius overpowered Antonius and became the most powerful man in the Roman world. The Roman Senate conferred the name Augustus, which means the increaser or venerable, upon Octavius, 27 BC, in acknowledgement of his expansion of the Roman territory and the prosperity he brought. Beginning from this time, the democratic Roman Republic transformed into the autocratic Roman Empire. Starting with the reign of Augustus, the Roman Empire enjoyed about 200 years of peace and stability called the Pax Romana, literally, Peace of Rome, under the reigns of the so-called 5 good emperors.
Who were the 5 good emperors? The 5 good emperors are Nerva, Trajan, Hadrian, Antonius Pius, and Marcus Aurelius. During this period, the title of emperor was not inherited, but the most capable man was appointed as such. In particular, Marcus Aurelius, the last emperor of the 5 good emperors, worked hard to defend the borders on both the eastern side of the empire and the Danube River, and because of his knowledge of Stoic philosophy, he wrote Meditations in the trenches of the battlefield. Did Cleopatra really change the world? Caesar, the ruler of Rome, had a son-in-law named Pompeius. When his wife died, Pompeius allied with the nobles and turned his back on his father-in-law, Caesar. Then Caesar said, "The die has been cast," and he crossed the Rubicon River and advanced to Rome. Pompeius fled to Egypt, but was assassinated by Egyptian king Ptolemy's man. Caesar joined hands with Cleopatra, the sister, wife, and co-ruler of Ptolemy, and drove him out. However, when Caesar returned to Rome, he was murdered by those who feared the collapse of the Roman Republic. English playwright William Shakespeare describes in his play The Tragedy of Julius Caesar that Caesar, who found his adopted son Brutus among the nobles who planned his assassination, fell down, saying, "Brutus, even you." Later, Brutus gave a memorial address in front of the Roman citizens. "I loved Caesar, but I loved Rome more." But Roman politician Antonius shook the heart of the people by saying, "They are assassins who cowardly kill the Roman heroes," revealing Caesar's body and will. Eventually, the faction of Brutus left Rome and ran away. Antonius married Augustus's younger sister Octavia to bond with Caesar's adopted son and successor Augustus. However, he divorced Octavia and married Cleopatra because he was fascinated with her. Later, Augustus gave command to General Agrippa, defeating the allied forces of Antonius and Cleopatra in the Battle of Actium.
Rome rules diverse ethnic groups with an advanced legal system and architecture. The Roman Empire consisted of diverse ethnic groups and religions. As a result, they were able to advance the practical cultures such as law and architecture that were necessary to maintain such a massive empire. Romans built cities and roads throughout occupied territory to facilitate easy transportation of people and goods. They installed large-scale water supply and sewage facilities in occupied lands, and also boasted of their advanced technology by building convenience facilities for citizens, such as public bathing houses and amphitheaters. The first written legislation of Roman law was called the Laws of the 12 Tables, which later developed into civil law binding on all Roman citizens. The Laws of the 12 Tables eventually evolved into the Law of Nations that applied to all nations that belonged to the Roman Empire. Accordingly, citizens of cities occupied by the Roman Empire were given equal rights to Romans except for the rights to vote and run for election. Later on, Roman law became the foundation of legal systems of countries around the world, including continental Europe.
What does it mean, all roads lead to Rome? The Roman Empire ruled beyond Italy to parts of Africa and Spain, and roads were built to every corner of the empire to send troops to remote areas. The road was constructed by placing large rocks on the ground, placing smaller blocks of stones on top of them, and then covering that with large, flat paving stones. There are many such roads, and they are connected to each other, so it was said that all roads lead to Rome.
Christianity spreads in Rome. Christianity was founded by Jesus Christ, who was born in Palestine, which was under the rule of the Roman Empire. Jesus criticized Judaism's belief of chosenness and advocated peace and love until he was crucified by the Roman official Pontius Pilate. His disciples, including Peter and Paul, built churches throughout the empire and preached the teachings of Jesus. Christianity appealed greatly to women and the lower classes who were discriminated against at the time. Christians refused to worship the traditional Roman gods or to pay homage to the emperor because they considered them idols. Consequently, Rome persecuted Christians, but Christianity continued spreading nevertheless. Constantine the Great, who attempted to stabilize the empire and strengthen royal authority, legalized the practice of Christianity through the proclamation of the Edict of Milan in 313. Then, Emperor Theodosius established Christianity as the state religion in 392, and Christianity became an important foundation of the European culture.
Who was the first emperor of Rome who oppressed Christianity? In July 64, a fire broke out in Rome. Rumors spread among the people that the tyrant, the fifth emperor Nero, deliberately burned Rome to create a new city, and that he recited poetry while looking at the burning Rome. In order to quell this suspicion, Nero held the Christians accountable and burned them at the stake, and he remained the first Roman emperor to persecute Christianity.